Have to move with care in that jungle out there. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. How you move when you're moving. Which direction you going. You got to be careful. You gotta be careful, careful.
Where you go? Where you walk? What you say?
It is 7:30 in the Eastern Caribbean, inside the studios of Real FM, and I think we're just sitting at 7:30 also. Good morning to you, Jester. How are you?
Good morning to you, Miss Joseph.
What missing about this morning? I said, Jester, call me what you know my name is.
So you want to tell me how to refer to your
Yes,
time?
yes, because you're addressing me. So I could tell you whatever it is that I want.
You know, as a one of the listeners and viewers of Real FM yesterday,
And
quite at M&N, you know, and you're saying, boy, this lady do easy, you know, like sometimes she don't want to fight with you.
tell them and then come and take me on anytime you feel
Not
like.
M&N, I tell you, I met the
care.
person at M&N. I just
Hold on a second. I think I'm getting off speak. I'm going to take this for a minute.
yes, so
Are you outside?
it's real, it's 91.9, 91.5, folks.
Okay.
It's yet another Tuesday for a mental health program. You know, one of the bigger ones that is happening for Real FM in recent times. And I'm so happy to be here again alongside my host, Claire Joseph. So what's up, folks? What's popping? Yesterday, our parliamentary representative for the St. Patrick's East constituency, the Honorable Dennis Cornwall, presented the estimates of revenue and expenditure for the year 2024. It was a 1.6, or it is, I should say, rounding up the figures, $1.6 billion budget. And for a small country like ours, that's a huge figure in a sense. And let's hope that they manage properly, you know. There are quite increases in allocations of different areas, you know. I think the highest allocation would be for education, youth, sports, and culture, which I think is in excess of 200 million. So, yes, Claire, you're back, so it's your show, you know. I always have to be mindful of that.
Well, of course. I mean, you can't come and
And
tell
of
me
course,
it's not mine show. Well,
I-
listen, anybody telling you something about I want to fight with you, I'm taking them on right now. Let me tell them. Just to torment me when I'm sitting right here.
Oh my God.
He says things to me that you all don't hear. But when you see, it's always the one that respond that gets into trouble. You know, when you have a football game, you might say something to me and I give you a big push, the referee blow me and send me outside. So people, I am not crazy. Yes, we're doing mental health, but I'm not crazy. Just that bothers me first. So I have to, and I respond. So
Claire, hold on,
I don't want to hear you.
Claire, before you move on, please just allow me, as you mentioned football, right? Let me just seize the opportunity here at this juncture to congratulate Paradise FC International for winning yet another title, the Wagiti Super Knockout for 2023. All right. As a result, they will earn 100,000. All right. And I must say congratulations to our very own from here in St. Patrick, Shamrock. You know, they give a much better account of themselves this time around, coming up against the powerhouse of Paradise, because in the previous meet, Paradise would have unraveled them 13 goals to nil. But this time around, from all indications, you know, because I missed the finals, you know, unfortunately so. From all indications, Shamrock, they gave a very good account of themselves. And in fact, one or two people told me that if the game had maybe about 10 minutes to go again, they probably would have equalized. So I must say congratulations to both the teams, yeah?
When you say one or two, what does that mean?
Pardon me?
One or two people tell you. People
Well,
say that
well,
all the time. What does one or two mean?
Okay, a few people.
Oh, that's
a few people. A few people told me.
That is according to Polly Morning. That is so much better.
Don't worry, the comedian will handle all that. You know, Saturday morning I have to say, boy, you are a real comedian in Chicken.
Put his mic down for a place because I don't know if he could speak with it up. But
He will handle that, man. He will be capable enough of handling that. I know he's capable enough of handling that.
You know, it is Mental Health Tuesday, but this morning I have with me Mr. Robert White. He's going to be talking to us. I give him 15 minutes because I don't want nobody encroach, or is that the word, on my program when it's mad people that sitting here. But he joined the group, so let me say good morning to Robert. How are you?
Good morning, Claire. I am good. Morning, Jester.
How's
Good
my
morning to
friend?
you, Robert.
How's my friend?
Your friend is good.
You feeding him yet?
Told me morning when I left.
You did.
So your friend is good.
Just have you ever seen her or him?
No, you have heard make mention of that friend, you know.
Oh, let me tell you. Every time I think about that friend, I smile because you know I don't know if it's a he or she. Let me say it. It is a nice little green thing, you know, and it whistles. It says morning, the most pleasant morning you could hear, and then he does that. He whistles right after he says good morning, but I hear he laughs scandalously too. I don't know. I never get him to get it to laugh, but I hear he or she laughs like crazy too. So
It's very simple. You just have to start a laugh, and it takes over. Yeah. He knows the joke more than you and enjoys it more than you.
But I believe I understand why he has it. I think he that it helps him in the profession in which he is involved, which is theater arts. You know,
okay.
being that comedian, I really believe that it serves as an inspiration to you, Robert. And if it's any different, well, maybe you'll see.
Boy, the truth is, you know, I've gotten accustomed to Polly, and I guess over time things just grow and they become part of your environment, part of your normal. So I guess if it's not there now, I'll miss it.
well, of
But it has
course.
become just part of my normal. What it has inspired me theatrically, I can't say. What I do know is sometimes it'll fret me. because you see, like, we start laughing here now, but all of a sudden the joke is Polly on. You know what I mean? And we can't even get a chance to enjoy our own joke. Polly more happy than us. Yeah, so,
I like Polly.
Yeah, but
yes.
it is fun. It is fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
So-
One thing, it attracts attention. The children and even big people too, you know, want to see it. Somehow people go crazy about a parrot.
Yeah.
Because the voice that comes out from inside the body of it.
I think maybe it's that.
Yeah.
Because they say morning for it to respond, they whistle for it to respond, you know, and then sometimes Polly cut style, and other times again he's very friendly. And I guess it's like everything else has moods.
He has mood swings. Polly need to come and appear on that program here. He has been suffering from mental health issues. Okay, as we said, it's Tuesday. It is Mental Health Tuesday, but I gave Robert 15 minutes and 15 minutes alone to come and see what he has to say about Comahan Folk Festival. Is that it?
Yes, that's what it is.
Okay, so start now. Swing.
So, folks, for those who don't know, and I don't think there's many people who don't know that the festival is on. We're getting closer. It's on this weekend, starting from Friday until Sunday. Now, last night we had a very intense planning session, and most of the sessions are. I mean, when you're planning an event of that magnitude, you have to make sure you dot all I's and cross all T's. And last night was one of those sessions. Went up quite a while because we just want to make sure that we put on our best display on the weekend. But I felt compelled to come here this morning because things are fitting together so nicely. I want to let you know. I want to share the excitement. So one of the things that we want to share is that we have been able to contract the services of the Discovery train.
The little red and yellow train that I saw in St. George a few days
bringing
ago.
Both of them
Yes!
is going to be up here. You see the excitement? That's what I'm telling you. I want to share it.
I saw it on Saturday and I'm like, oh my Lord, look at that train, how beautiful it is. And it's one lady on the whole train, but I just felt that I could be sitting on that train too.
Well, you could be sitting on it on Sunday.
Okay.
Because we are going to be, the plan is to get them up here on Saturday, and they really want to come. They're excited about coming. As a matter of fact, the owner of the train was up here last Sunday. He came and did a drive around the parish, the areas that we'd like to, traverse, just to make sure that they could.
The train could go up the hill.
Not just the hills.
Familiarize
The
yourself with the route.
trains are very powerful, so hills are not an issue. But turning is an issue.
Oh, okay.
So that if areas, while they could negotiate narrow spaces, but to make the circle to turn, they need to have adequate space. So they wanted to make sure that there were places that they could turn because they can't reverse.
Oh, they can't
That's
reverse?
the trick. They can't reverse.
Well, with those trains, you have to put an, what do you call that thing again? The automotive thing at the front and one at the back. So when this way,
so
you just
yeah,
switch.
but of course the principle behind this one is different.
Oh.
Those are run on tracks. They
Oh.
could do that. Yeah. But this one is pretty much a vehicle.
route.
It's a
Yeah,
vehicle pulling
it
carriages.
is. Yeah.
So the good news is they're going to be here. Here's what is even better.
Tell me.
They're going to be, they're aiming to be up here on Saturday. It's still a question mark whether or not they'll be here in time during the daylight hours on Saturday, because the train is a slow moving animal. Right?
It's a slotch?
A slow, slotch. And so there's a boat on Saturday, so they aim to come up after they would have done their job down there.
Okay.
It may take a while, probably about 3 hours to get up here. So even if they leave down there about 1 after 1, maybe even 2, it's kind of likely they get up here after
Can they
4,
put it on a
5.
flatbed and bring it up?
That was considered too. But there's additional costs associated with that.
Oh,
And more
okay.
than costs, you have to get the appropriate flatbed because you have all these carriages and so. So it was obviously would have been more than one flatbeds. And
No,
that
but I
would
was
have highly
thinking
cost.
that if you put it on a ramp and it drives up on the flatbed and it just lock itself and stay there, you don't have to break it up in pieces, do
No,
you?
that's true. That's true. But we will need more than one flatbeds, and the cost of doing that
Oh, okay.
kind of now would make it
That was just a thought.
prohibitive. Yes. So they're going to get up here on Saturday, but we may or may not be able to offer the rides on Saturday, but definitely Sunday.
Do you have to
Sunday
pay
is
for the
when we're going
ride?
to be having fun.
Do you have to pay for the ride or do you have a donation or something?
Yes, you will have to pay.
Oh,
But
My excitement done.
here's the fee structure. No. You get excited even more when you're here.
What?
Children will be only $2
uh-huh.
and adults $5.
So let me ask you something. Where did children getting the $2 if so the adults paying $7?
Well, adults are constant paying. Ice cream is more than $7, and they have to buy more than one ice cream. Otherwise, the children will scream. It becomes child scream. Yes.
Yes.
So,
But in some cases, some children have more money than they bring.
And the
no,
parents,
we
that is
think,
true.
we think quite frankly that this is beyond reasonable. Yes. So, and because we're having the two trains, we're going to be doing two routes. So one train will be going down to the Mount Craven side route, all by the old folks home to kind of view the Lime Kiln down there.
Okay.
And the other one will be going up Maday's Way, where La Fortune, to take you to the site where the Indian arrival be, the Irving Bay, where they
Butchery?
do have,
Okay.
where they have the plaque,
Okay.
the commemorative plaque. So these are the two tours that we have planned. But the guys are all, let me tell you how excited this thing is. Even the staff, the owner of the train said when he told the staff, we're going to Sotes. We're going to Sotes? So he intended to come with just the drivers. And now the other auxiliary staff want to come. So I tell them, sure.
The more the merrier.
Yes.
Let them come
So-
up to the country.
Right. So they're going to be on for the entire Sunday.
Okay.
Well, starting around 10 o'clock Sunday morning and want to close off around 4.
Okay.
So it's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun. I'm really excited about this. I mean, as I tell just on Saturday, there's still a child in every one of us, all right? And my child hasn't ridden the train yet.
Oh, okay.
So I want to satisfy my child.
Well, my
Just
children
like me.
here, all my children here, my split personalities, and they're all here waiting to ride the train and go choo choo, woohoo.
All right. So, folks, I just want to say again, so be prepared. Organize your children Sunday from 10 a.m. to as late as 4. The trains will be available, offering rides at $5 adults, $2 children.
Okay.
We anticipate there'll be more children, obviously. And the owner of the train said, for children, I come do it for children.
Where is he
He's
from?
French.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he said, I come do it for children. So Tess, I come. Sebastian, if you listen to me, don't, I'm not slighting you. I just love your accent.
Yeah, they have a heavy, thick accent.
Yes.
Yes, they do.
So that is just one of the things that's going to happen. But I chose to say it first because I'm so excited about the train issue. But on Friday, which is the opening night, we'll be doing the bamboo march. The flambeau march actually from McDonald's College down to the bus terminus. And we probably should have in excess of about 50, 60 people involved in that march.
Okay.
When you look at the composition of schools and some of the other invitees and so. We are having a police outrider or possibly just a police escort, whichever the police is more convenient for them. They haven't actually decided yet. And drumming and so it's going to be a hyped thing. It's not just a dreary kind of all looking tired people all match. It's going to be exciting and that officially starts the festival. So we march through the streets of Sotes. We down to the terminus, and when we get there, there'll be speeches as well as presentations, cultural and otherwise. We got a couple of bands will be on the Friday night as well. So the Minister for Culture is going to be here, obviously. It's within his ministry. We'll also have a speech from the parliamentary rep from St. Patrick's West. That too is within his constituency. So
Did I miss the time for it?
6, we start at 6.
6
So we start 6 at McDonald College.
Okay.
So officially we only start 7 at the bus terminus. But like we did, we'll have any Moko Jumbies and Shotney and so, because we believe that we want to showcase that part of our folk and folklore and create the excitement, right? They're going to be on Saturday as well, up and down the streets, right? Yeah, it's not carnival, so it's not intended to kind of like mimic carnival. Everything will be happening on Saturday, but there will be, every so often you'll see probably a band of Apache Pass or a little band of Shotney Pass. And so even if you can't get to the terminus on Saturday, and you're kind of like marooned in your business because not everybody will have the time to leave their business. They could still people attend it because the Shotney band just passed, or people attend the Apache just passed. So they probably sing in front of your store.
Okay.
Right? That's on Saturday. And we also have from Carriacou, and I just keep forgetting your name. Pardon me, guys. I just keep forgetting your name. But we initially intended to put them on a stage, and let them perform like down by Melvin, a small stage. But we thought it a better idea to have them serenade in the town.
Oh, okay.
So they'll be, again, with a view to making sure in as much as the central point is down at the terminus, but trying to give people a chance on Saturday who, during the course of the day, will not be able to leave their places of employment and so. They will get a chance as the people pass through the street to engage and feel part of.
That's a good thing.
Yes. Now, the big activity takes place on the night. But before we go to this, there's a breakfast on Saturday. It's a paid-for breakfast, but we intend to highlight some of the foods that we have grown up with, some of which we don't get on our plate as often, or maybe bambula, for example. I know there's one person who has promised to come with bambula. I need bambula in about 20 or 25 years.
Since we were young.
Just like me, man.
So I'm looking forward to that, right? Because that was part of your Sunday meal. With a little saltfish and things at the side and tomato and all that, and you have your bamboo and your cocoa tea. And when you finish there, you don't even want lunch.
But I tell you, Robert, when you eat your bamboo and you drink that cocoa tea,
you're
going through the whole
day. You're solid. So we're going to have in that alongside the usual bakes and saltfish and fried breadfruit and cuckoo and those sort of things,
All right.
But that is going to be at the GCNA building.
Where's
on
that?
Saturday.
Okay.
So that's like if you're heading
Mali?
down
Yeah, but
Mali.
is it by the
As if
by
you
the
go
cinema?
to the cinema,
Yeah.
right? That little area there.
But it is in Mali, yes, of course.
It is Mali.
Yeah, Mali.
Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. I'm not mad yet.
No, I was just enforcing your point, Claire.
And that location will also be the location for the Saraka. Because we're having Saraka, we expect that food will be ready by probably about 1 after 1 and go up to until it's finished. But I mean, there's going to be a lot of food. There's a lot of food. We have hundreds of meat, hundreds of pounds of meat, all right? Plus a lot of food, soups and
It says that's smorgasbord. Smorgasbord.
Smorgasbord.
The Saraka is on Saturday.
The Saraka is on Saturday, yes.
Okay.
So too is the breakfast. So after you'd have had breakfast and you lime around, because there's still be things happening there, there's activity for the entire day on Saturday, starting 6 o'clock with the Saraka and ending midnight. Now,
Okay.
On Saturday.
on Saturday.
Okay.
You'll be having activities like during the course of the day, like we try to connect you with the past, especially again we try to Saturdays like the kids' day during the course of the day. So there'll be games on the bus terminus. So folks, bring the kids. There'll be games on the bus terminus.
Children.
Moral.
Bring the children.
Bring
People
the
don't-
children.
yes.
Yeah, the next thing I come here, I set a good
Yeah.
There'll be morals.
I
right?
tell you the boys are real cool.
Yeah, well, can't blame them. Say bring the kids. The one said I go. So there's going to be morals, right? Chinese skip.
Onesies. Chinese skip.
Yeah, when last you
skip,
played Chinese skip?
Since I was in RC school over
Right,
there.
that is 150 years ago.
Yes, about that.
Yeah, I used to. Yeah,
And
people
I
used
hope
to-
they could go up the way to the
In
neck.
neck.
Oh yes, some
Neck.
people.
We used
That's
to go
the
up the
point I was
neck, you know,
making.
man.
Some people are very agile.
Yes,
They go up to the neck.
flexible people we were.
Yes,
Mm.
right.
Athletic.
So there's that Chinese skip. There's going to be moral. I mean, so that's the girls now, because the boys kind of never really played Chinese. Well, they used to play too, but Chinese skip was more the girls' game. Then there'll be skipping rope.
Yes,
We
skipping rope.
plan to get some younger ropes. So we're looking
That's
for
gonna
that.
just scratch people.
Yeah, it does. But I mean, that's probably the excitement too. The scratch, I think.
Gosh.
But if we don't get the younger then we'll substitute that with nylon ropes,
Okay.
or and for the boys now, there's the tie. Remember just that thing we spoke about on Saturday, putting the two sticks in the tire and rolling that and
Yeah.
so. Right, we'll just again symbolic to show people we're not going to bring them on the road kind of thing, just
Right.
inside the terminus then, but show the kids what we did to entertain ourselves, because when we grew up, this was not the era of the gadgets, the technological gadgets.
Sure.
Where children now immerse themselves into this little box. And there's a whole world inside that little box that engages them to the exclusion of them getting involved with even their own family.
Yeah. What
Right.
about the Rara? You remember the Rara?
mango
Yes,
With the mangoes.
we haven't identified the Rara. The truth is, I guess we couldn't put everything on display,
Yeah.
but there'll be marbles as well.
Okay.
Tops. White Eye is making some tops for us as a donation. I think he has made a good 7 already. And some children never done stopped in their life, but they get a chance to do it. And there'll also be the roller. And remember the wooden rollers with the 2 wheels and so?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
and we
yes.
spoke about the
And
puzzle
the
lock.
puzzle lock,
Right.
right.
Well, we're getting 4 that made. And people are doing that through donations. So we want to thank people like Bombay and Everest and White Eye and other folks who are donating their time and their resources to do that, so as the kids will get an idea. Well, they'll have an opportunity for some fun, but they'll get an idea of how we grew up.
Make sure they do one in Puzzle Lock, you
Yeah, you must have. So
Make
you probably
sure
have
you
to
do
You
one
mean
in
if they
Puzzle Lock.
wanted, we'll
We-
roll?
yes,
Yeah.
we-
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
I used to move that like crazy.
Yeah. So we're having that during the course of the day, and again, so when the kids tired and all of that, or when they get hungry, then they could run across to the GCNA building, get some food, and then come back again and enjoy themselves.
Some might never
Right.
leave the building.
Some may never leave, right? Then there's in the evening now. Then we have the Moko Jumbi and other people come out again, just before we start at 7, because we start in the evening thing at 7. And Saturday night is billed as music night. Sunday is folk night.
Okay.
The music night, we put on display most of our own local Calypsonian / soca artists for the Saturday. So we have Terra, the Governor, Looney Spack and Electrify, Lady Cinti, who I mentioned, her claim to fame is that she was the first female Calypsonian to win the Calypso Monarch. So she's going to be there. And Looney Spack and Electrify are children. So they're getting a chance to perform with each other, not necessarily singing together. Maybe they might, I'm not sure. But at least to be on the same stage, it's an honor. Cindy could say, look at me, 2 children on stage with me, and vice versa, that sort of thing. So they'll be on. Then we also have the reigning Calypso Monarch, that's our friend from St. David, Bruce Mike Kelly, as well as the reigning Independence Monarch, our friend from Sottesia, Nivian Cox. The reigning Junior Calypso Monarch, that's Moti Niles from St. David.
Yeah.
And all this will be on display. And in addition to that, a feature of the Cameron Folk Festival has always been, a regional act, 1 or 2. And this year we have been able to procure the services of two very interesting calypsonians. One being the Pink Panther. Pink Panther usually has some biting social commentary / humorous calypso. One of them, I can't see, and he telling you all the things he couldn't see.
Yeah.
As well as the Misprint Me Calypso, which I think is a classic, right? So he's going to be there, and they're coming in on Thursday. We want to as well get the opportunity to give them probably a half an hour or so, coming close to maybe Friday, on Real FM. So I put in my booking now. And
Which Friday?
This Friday.
What time?
Yeah.
We don't know yet. Whatever time slot they give us, we have to fit in.
Okay.
So, and the other thing, I'm really excited about this other act. He is Lord Nelson. And I'll tell you why I'm excited. One, I grew up with his music, and I know he has some very
What
good
is this song that you're advertising that we all know? That Lord Nelson sing?
liar, King Liar.
No, there's another one. That
But
was a bit jumpy.
Lord Nelson has the greatest groove of all times. There will never be a groove to surpass it. Me Lover.
Oh, my lover, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
Me
my
Lover.
lover.
Yeah.
And must we mention my confession to you?
The greatest groove of all times.
So he's going to be there doing that. And this man is 93 years old. And that's what excites me. In addition to, of course, the quality of his music, is that at age 93, he is still able to do what that is laudable.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to see him on stage, and he's excited to come to Grenada as well. So they'll be coming in on Thursday, himself and Pink Panther, as well as his manager is coming in as well. So we have that on Saturday. So Saturday is going to be excitement for the entire day. Different things happening, which culminates into the music night. On Sunday, we start at 4 o'clock on Sunday evening, and that is going to be a very exciting show too, because we have this is an opportunity for the schools now to showcase their ability to sing, choirs and so. We have invited some of the church groups as well. So we have Hermitage Church Choir, Hermitage Government Choir, the Montrose Secondary, Montrose Primary and Secondary Schools. We have Sally, we have Vinnie La Grenade, they do the dance, it's a dance company. Or maybe one of the oldest dance company on the island, some 40 something years I think they existed. Yeah, they've been around a long time. Shantimel RC is Simply Unique Dancers and Patrick Anglican Choir. Then we have the Carrico Big Drum Posse is going to be with us. And we have our international act will be La Cadco Dance Company from Jamaica.
Okay.
Original, I should say then. But their claim to fame is that they too are good. Jamaicans are very good on the creative arts.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that facilitate their ability, well, one, they got good talent, excuse me, but they also have the Jamaica School of Dance, the Edna Manley School of Dance, and then they have other, as part of the UE and offering, they're into creative arts and so. So they are going to be here, and they are led. The captain is a Grenadian who went to study and did so well that they offered her employment.
That's good.
Right. So and then the national folk group is going to be there as well on Sunday. So even Sunday is billed as family evening. You can bring, yes, all shows are intended for family, but Sunday is specifically looking at the family and so. So we're starting at 4, as I said. One thing I forgot to mention, the trade fair, that too is on Saturday. The Department of Trade has been able to put together a team of over 21. Initially we were looking at 50, but it's now down to 21, but 21 local manufacturers and so. And they're going to be on display on Saturday, building up some nice bamboo boots and so, and make it nice and creative, dress up it properly, nicely, creatively.
Okay.
And that's how it is. Now I could tell you a lot more, but I didn't
No.
get a lot more time.
You had more time on Saturday. We just should have said, a lot on Saturday. You're not coming and infringe on my thing at all.
Me head and heart, When you tell me come, I'm coming. When you tell me go, I'm going. Go now?
Go. G-O. Time up. 8 o'clock. I gave you 15, you took half. So, I was very, very free with you this morning because I wanted to hear what was going on. So, thank you so much for telling us and peeps. You all hear what it is. Go down to the bus terminus on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday when it culminates.
Yes. When one thing I want
You
to say
still
before
speaking?
I go. Yeah, no, just one thing quickly.
Very not easy now.
There'll be some changes to the traffic on the day, but I think the police will address that on Thursday when they come. Or if they don't, we'll address it on Friday.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. White.
Claire, hold on, Claire.
What?
Robert, I think the weekend would be a wonderful weekend, really and truly. I mean,
You didn't
looking
hear when I
forward to the
said that?
Common Folk Festival, and I mean,
You didn't hear when I say that?
This what happened in the past, and this one, I think, I don't believe nobody is not aware of what is happening on the weekend, and I believe Sutters will just be the bus terminus will be the hub for the weekend, and it will be great. Trust me.
It's intended to be.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Yeah.
Claire? All right. Bye-bye.
Keep
care,
up the
thank
good
you.
work, you and your team.
Thank you, man.
All right.
Where you go? Where you walk? What you say? When you talk? Where you go? Where you walk? What you say? When you talk?
It's a hungry world out there, with everybody scrambling to get a share. Wolves in sheep clothing, birds of prey waiting to swoop down on you, and there's no telling what they'll do. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. Where you go when you're walking, what you say when you're talking, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful, careful. I say we have to prepare to meet the challenge.
St. Patrick's Pharmacy. St. Patrick's Pharmacy. Looking for a wide variety of prescription drugs and over-the-counter medication? Check out St. Patrick's Pharmacy. Feeling weak and want a boost? Check out St. Patrick's Pharmacy for all your vitamin and mineral supplements, essential oils such as lavender, peppermint, eucalyptus, and much more. Medicated soaps, antifungal and antibacterial, all at affordable prices. Visit St. Patrick's Pharmacy today at its new location. Yes, a new location on Lip Street, apartment number 4 at the Ford Building. We are open Monday to Friday from 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call us today on 414-1954 or 442-0204. St. Patrick's Pharmacy, where quality medication costs less.
Ozone really gets it clean. Get with the Ozone family line of products. Ozone liquid laundry detergent, perfect for your semi or fully automatic washing machines, yet suitable for your hand wash, soft on your hands. Ozone disinfectant cleaner. It's the most powerful disinfectant and cleaner with a long-lasting fresh scent. Tackles every job around the house or office. Ozone detergent powder and ultra soft fabric softener gets your clothes clean with a natural freshness. Keeps your colors bright. Choose from the wonderful scents: soft flower, ocean breeze, and the new aloe vera. Keep your kitchen sparkling clean with the Ozone dishwashing liquid, Ozone sponges, and cleaning cloth. Ozone toilet bowl cleaner removes lime scale and kills germs while giving your toilet a refreshing scent. Ozone really gets it clean. Marketed and distributed by Calico, Frequente St. George's, and are available at shops and supermarkets nationwide.
is now 4 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock. And it is Mental Health Tuesday. We had to take a little detour this morning because, as you heard, Robert White had to come and talk about the Kamahan Folk Festival. And we just wanted to give him a minute so that he can inform the public as to what's going on. I think we have a call on the line, Jester. Let's see. Good morning.
Good morning, Jester.
Good morning to you, Miss Mona.
I just said good morning and she said good morning, Jester. Okay. All right.
Good morning, Claire.
I'm not answering that.
She's a very jealous girl.
Well, you don't know you have to leave
The best for last?
The best for last.
Yes! That's what I know. Good morning, Mona.
You don't know that. Because if you knew that,
I was just being bad, okay?
Never talk.
I was just being
You would
bad.
have wait to hear what I'm going to
I
say.
have no patience. I have no patience, okay?
You don't have patience?
Nope. Not right now. So let's speak. Tell me what's going on.
I have got
I hear you. You're Mozia breadfruit.
a bowlie.
Okay. So what's going on?
Well, how you see me, just so you see me?
Well, I know. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you, Mama.
Afraid of you know.
What we do now? We're
Yes,
gonna start the program because we're late.
yes, I know.
So-
But I say afraid of you.
What we do?
Nothing.
Okay, then when you're ready to tell us, we'll listen.
I haven't got nothing to say. I'm taking it like a pinch of salt.
There you go. You too, baby. Take care.
Right.
Bye-bye. So, Jester, it is Tuesday, Mental Health, and let me just say good morning to a few of the people that came on the live while we were speaking to Robert. Miss Matheson, Christine Otley, Faithlin Hallie Douglas, good morning to you. Mary Olivaci, buongiorno. Adrian Watt, Chance the Game 97, Mary, good to have you on. Jerome Lewis, Pearl Charles, Lorna Bain out there in Tio, Maria King, Keith Lausin, and Pearl Lewis. Good morning to you guys. Good morning to MP wherever you are. Make sure you check in because we're talking this morning. So, Jester, I've got 2 questions for you.
I will answer if I can.
You can. Until I was going to come in for people in the store and all this kind of thing, and you could answer that. Are you lonely?
Certainly I'm not lonely. I'm living my best life.
Okay. Have you ever been lonely?
Have I ever been lonely?
That is not rocket science.
No, Claire, because you see, for a moment one can become lonely. It doesn't have to stay for a length of time. Mm-hmm. But based on how loneliness and what I'm understanding of loneliness, so loneliness can happen. It can happen for an hour. It can happen for half an hour. And I wouldn't say no. At one time I may not have been lonely.
Okay. So, asking you that question, this morning we are talking about loneliness and how it affects us mentally.
Okay.
So it says loneliness is a feeling that most of us have experienced at one point or another. They're talking about people like you, Jester.
Like us.
Who us?
So you have never been lonely?
No.
So are you saying that?
No.
You have never been, at no point in time you have not been
I'm never
lonely?
lonely.
Okay.
Listen,
All
I always
right.
say lonesome. Lonesome.
You make your point, I understand.
Okay, so wait a minute. Okay, in that case,
Well, I
fantastic
say,
way.
you don't have to say anything regarding that again. So fine. How great are you?
No, come on. You don't have to say, greatness is in your presence.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So yes, it says it can come on suddenly, as you said, about an hour or so, or gradually. And it can last for a short while or linger for months or even years. And in relation to the connection between loneliness and mental health, it can really take a toll when it is constant or intense. So loneliness can come in 2 phases. It can just come, boom, you feel lonely. Or it could take its time and crawl its way into your being. And it can last for months. It can last for years. It says, while loneliness is often thought of as a negative emotion, it can actually be beneficial in moderation, as it helps us appreciate our own company and gives us time to reflect and recharge. You see why I tell you I don't get lonely?
I did tell you.
No, I'm just saying. I told you, asked me if I've never, and I said, well, let me put it that way. I'm not aware of me being lonely, if that is the case. Because you see, when you love yourself and you like to spend time with yourself, loneliness comes when we do not accept who we are and learn how to spend time with ourselves. So we always want people around us to make us feel alive. But that's where loneliness comes in for some people.
But you see, Claire, based on what the experts are saying, they say loneliness can leave people feeling isolated and disconnected from others.
Yeah.
It is a complex state of mind that can be caused by life changes.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. And loneliness, it says it is a silent epidemic. And when you hear epidemic, that means a lot of people are going through loneliness, are dealing with loneliness. So it hasn't reached the stage of pandemic. When it's pandemic, it's like everyone.
Yeah.
But epidemic, it has taken its toll on a lot of people. It says loneliness is a problem that often goes unnoticed. It can be hard to spot because it doesn't always present itself in obvious ways. But the truth is, loneliness is more common than most people realize. In fact, research suggests that it is on the rise, particularly among young adults. Again, the young people that they are targeting here. Because you might ask yourself, what is there for them to be lonely about? You know, they have this, they have that, they have their parents, they could get anything they want. What are they feeling lonely about? Or what are they lonely for? It says there are a number of reasons why feeling alone has become more prevalent in recent years. One theory is that social media has made us more aware of the lives of others and the connection they have, leading us to feel more isolated in comparison. Another possibility is that we are simply spending less time interacting with others face to face, which is even more true since pandemic-related social distancing and new prevalence of working from home. It can even be difficult for those in office roles to find time for socializing because of long commutes and other time restraints like a second job. Social media. And it's ironic, isn't it? Because hear the word social. When you're doing social, isn't it that you're supposed to be interacting with people and
course.
having fun around people? But that talking about social media has made it even more tight-knit for people to not be among people. It says you are not having face-to-face like you and I are having face-to-face now. If this has gone out the window, you want to talk to me and I'm standing right there, you pick up your phone and you say, hey Claire, can I see you? I'm standing in front of you, what do you want? You understand?
Yeah.
Speak to me like face to face. I'm here. So why are you sending a message to me on your phone saying that I want to talk to you when I'm standing right in front of you? And this has caused the barrier between human beings right now and how to be social because we lack that interaction face to face. You know, you see, you go to restaurants and you go places and you and your girlfriend or you and your significant other who goes somewhere and both of you sitting at a table and guess what? You are on that phone, fingers flying all over the place.
Yeah.
So who are you talking to?
This is crazy, man. Honestly, this gadgets and thing really rob, the way people should be socializing and thing. And the amazing thing that you're invited to a social event and you come to the event, so it's like the word social now loses significance.
There's no social anymore.
You know what I'm saying?
There is
this
individual
is just social
now.
Yeah,
individual.
yes.
Because I'll tell you, I know of someone that went to dinner with her significant other. And she's sitting at the table and they're having a conversation. Well, she's having the conversation because it's one-sided. And he's on his phone and he only moaning, Nothing she says he's hearing.
Yeah, that
because he's so engrossed in his phone.
That doesn't make any sense.
She got up. She left the table. She left the restaurant totally. She told the maitre d', the maitre d', if he asked for me, tell him I left. When he cannot catch himself and he realized, well, hey, I'm sitting here by myself, he asked for her. The message he got was, she said to tell you that she left. Because she was ignored, neglected.
I can't blame her for that.
Yes. Yeah. And she's sitting there lonely for his attention, looking for it, and he's on his phone, and it happens to each and every one of us.
Yeah,
Sometimes
that's a classic example of a form of loneliness that occurred
instantly,
just right there.
instantly.
And that's the point I was
yes.
making.
I got your point
Yeah.
when you made it, but
Yeah.
just instantly. And it's that if you say you're taking someone somewhere and you're going to spend time together, lose the phone.
Yeah.
Because I know for a fact that growing up, the era we grew up in, just we survived. We are that age now, and we didn't die because we didn't have a phone.
Exactly.
We didn't die because we didn't have we had lamp with kerosene and lantern and how do you call that thing again? Mass and tow and all this kind of thing.
Yeah.
We survived. We made it to the age that we have made it now. So I'm not saying that social media is not good, but there is a time and a place for everything.
Yes.
And you cannot, and you see, and you will say, well, oh, I've been here, I've been sitting here. Well, why did you get up and leave? But were you paying any attention to what I was saying? Because she could have asked and said, well, the house is on fire. And he said,
And folks, let me just send that message out there. Anybody that is involved in doing such, I mean, as a couple going out, and you tend to ignore the other person and all your concentration is on the phone, it doesn't make sense. That is no good.
many relationships
Honestly,
are broken up for that.
For that,
yes.
yeah. It really, that's something you got to take stock of.
It says here, left unchecked, loneliness can have a serious impact on our health as well as our mental health. Two of them, eh? The physical health, the inside, and the mental health, your brain and your body. Published articles reference the links between loneliness and autonomic hormone, which is internal secretion, and immune functioning markers, which indicate a number of effects that can take time to present itself in some individuals. And hear what it says. Loneliness can lead to exacerbate or intensify some of the following conditions. And don't tell me a lot of us are not going through that. We have a call. Good morning.
Good morning to
CJ and Jester.
Chester.
Good morning, Clifford.
You know, something that you just said there, it is over truth, and I know it. I remember it happened a few years ago with my son, a girlfriend, and myself was one place. The gentleman left, my son, left myself and the girlfriend in a bar, and he went, well, in the market in St. George's, a bar in the market, and he went across. Mm-hmm. And for over an hour, that gentleman on his phone talking to somebody. And I went to him, I said, well, what happened? I said, you bring the lady here, and what happened? He come in. I said, no, but you can't do a thing as that. You have a lady here with you, and you out on the outside talking to somebody on the phone for more than an hour.
It happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was feeling very, 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 very embarrassed. Very embarrassed to know and make it worse if the person is not a Grenadian.
Oh.
You know, it's sort of humiliating. And I believe that this what you talk about, loneliness. Mm-hmm. And you know one thing that could cause loneliness a lot is tabanca, you know.
Okay.
Tabanca, don't make people fool you. People make things. Tabanca is hot, bad, you know.
I guess you're speaking from experience?
I am speaking from
Okay.
experience. Tabanca, hot, and it makes you lonely.
Okay.
When you remember you are alone there, or you can't get to that other person, or what, It is hurting.
I know.
But a lot of people try to make you, I'm just studying that, they lie.
They lie. Okay, thanks, Clifford.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Always a ticklish kind of subject.
So here it says loneliness can lead to intensify some of the following conditions, and here what they are: abuse, sleep problems, personality disorders, Alzheimer's disease, diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, coronary heart disease, hypertension, obesity, physiological aging, cancer, and poor hearing. Would you have thought that?
These are all the
Loneliness.
effects.
That's some of the effects that loneliness can cause on someone.
Yeah.
Again, abuse. When you're lonely, and he didn't say what sort of abuse it is, but I would make a wild guess and say drug abuse, alcohol abuse. You know, these are the abuse that you will go through because you are there by yourself and you're telling yourself, well, something got to give. I need to do something to make me happy, to make myself feel better. So you go and you start drinking alcohol or you start taking hard drugs, and so before you know it, you turn something that you had no intention of turning. Sleep problems. When you're lonely and you're by yourself, you may sleep for 2 hours, 3 hours, and then the rest of the night you might be up and reflecting as to what's going on. Why can't I sleep? You know? Personality disorders, like I said, you have one here. I have Claire on that side. I've got CJ on that side. I've got Maria in the back, and I have this in the front. So all of them, I've got all the personalities, yeah? And when they start to come out, I'm talking to you. Claire might be speaking to you here while CJ is speaking to you on that side. It gives you that, it makes you, I don't want to use the word crazy, but mentally disabled.
Yeah.
Loneliness can cause that. Diabetes, again, because sometimes you know, it says when you're lonely or when you're stressed, you do 2 things or more. You eat and you eat and you eat because you're not hungry, but you just eat to make yourself feel okay because there's no one in your space for you to talk to help you out. You do that. And these are things that we have to really take seriously. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be alone. I'm not saying that at all. Because you do need me time. You do need your Zen moment. You do need your space. But loneliness, on the other hand, a lot of people,
There is a difference.
lot of us,
There is a difference.
are going through it. Poor hearing. So I could understand where poor hearing come with loneliness, because if you're by yourself and you have nobody to talk to, you're just there. You're in your little space. Who you talking to and who gonna hear you? So all of a sudden you become like a deaf to the world. So it is said if you don't use it, you lose it, yeah? So if you're not getting no interactions around you, all these things here from loneliness could impact your life. It says among the various challenges that face older adults, reduced resilience and other aspects of physical aging leave many prone to poor overall health, sleep problem, dystrophia, loneliness, and detrimental impact to various systems and control hormone release in response to stress, which all result in more stress. Now is a perfect time, just the season that we are in, to see how lonely people can get. We got a call. Good morning.
Coffee in the morning.
Good morning to you, and how are you? Don't say good morning to Jester, okay? I'm warning you.
I just had to get permission.
Pastor, good morning.
Boy, I have to say morning to you, and I have to still have morning to you, Jester.
Good morning to you, Pastor.
Yes, CJ, can I get the permission to tell Jester morning?
Go right ahead.
Good morning, Jester, again.
Yes, morning, Pastor.
Yeah, so that is to
always
you,
a pleasure,
you know.
always a
Amen,
pleasure.
Amen. Loneliness. There is an initial stage where loneliness is concerned. And a lot of people does not really know that. Anytime you find it's difficult to connect with people, you have a problem of loneliness. You're finding it difficult to connect with people. But sometime in our life, some of us will end up being alone. It's just natural. In this life, plenty of us will end up being alone and be lonely. One have to create the atmosphere to build his domain where his own happiness is concerned. Nobody are not responsible for making you happy. Eh? You are responsible for making you happy.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody have to congratulate me, I have to congratulate myself first. There are times we could take our own hand and tap our shoulder and say, well done.
Mm-hmm.
You doesn't need somebody to do that.
You could buy your own self flowers and shake your own hand.
You could buy yourself flowers and shake your own hand.
Mm-hmm.
But you could go to a restaurant and you could sit down there and buy a bottle of wine and you alone drink.
Mm-hmm.
You feel good about yourself.
Yes.
Now the thing is that as I said, in life, some of us end up being alone. Typical example. A man married, he have his wife. Both of them are living in a house. Children start coming. Responsibility to take your role as parents to make sure that your children have clothing, food, and shelter over their head. You educate the children. You want to make sure that they achieve academically. They go to college, they go to university, they achieve, you feel proud. Then the son and that daughter that you have, a good man, a man see that daughter, he married. She gone. She's a Charles, married to a McIntyre. That son name changed. So the father and the mother remain home with the boy. Then later on in the not too distant future, I don't care what house some parents have, some children does go. You want to have his own house. So that boy come, he married, he gone. Then you have 2 bedrooms spare in the house. Daddy and mommy still there. Children gone. Then you didn't have this kind of communication level now because they're gone. Mm-hmm. They're not living with you. They might just give you a phone call now and then because they're big now. Once in a while they will come to see you. And that is good. But you lost that connection with them when they were living with you. Now the time will come when Papa got sick and then Mama got sick. Then Mama, unfortunately, Mama died. Papa died. If Papa go first, Mama is alone. If Mama go first, Papa is alone. Sometimes we only live with the dog or the cat. And at some point in time in our life, we're going to be lonely. Even on the bus that we travel with now, you go in the bus terminus, and you sit on the bus, and you are very lonely on the bus. If the bus taking 17 passengers, and you are sitting there, and there are 10 passengers on the bus, you're lonely. Because the many times the people get on the phone, on the bus, they pull the phone out. And everybody head duck in the phone. And before this gadget didn't come in, you get on a bus and everybody holds a conversation. How you do? Long time I don't see, but nobody do have time for that now. Mm-hmm. You go to the clinic. Now, hardly you have people right now. You go to the clinic long ago, everybody, before the doctor come, everybody speak about the complaint. You go to the clinic now, and most, even older people, old people, right? Senior citizens, they abandon their phone too, they're good and that. Mm-hmm. They pull the phone out and they start to look at it. Right in your home, finally, you could have sometimes 5 children in your home, and your home is lonely. In your home is lonely. Because each and every one of these 5 children in that home will have the gadget. Right now, in some home, the dining table where you eat is useless. You got to throw it aside. Mm-hmm. Because nobody sit on the dining table anymore to eat. Thank God I have mine. I sit on the dining table with my family and I eat. There are times I say, make hot, I go to the veranda. But the dining table become present right now a white elephant. Nobody sit. The minute time the children get the food, they run in the room, on the laptop, on the computer. So sometime in our life, we'll end up being lonely. But loneliness is a disease. Mm-hmm. And as for me personally, as I close here, I'm not a lonely man. I'm a happy man, I want to always be a happy man because I create the atmosphere in my domain to make myself happy if nobody doesn't want to do it. The onus is on me to make me happy. I rest my case. Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Excuse me.
And you cannot say it any better than that because, yes, we are responsible for our happiness. Yes, people cannot, nobody owns your happiness. You do, but you let people own it for you. Because as someone always said to me, you cannot walk your life and run mine. You understand? Let me run my life. You run yours. Because loneliness can cause so much pain to people. And as I was saying, in this season that we are in right now, you would not believe the amount of people that are going to be on the lonely list this December.
Yes, but let's just get back to what Pastor was saying before we move on to your point, He was saying the dining table in the house now have actually become And let me tell you, for some
You just have a piece of furniture right now.
for some parents that are allowing children when they are at the dining table or even when they are eating to have these gadgets and them in front of them, and it's just not a good practice.
It's not.
And some parents allow the children to do this sort of things.
But how could they stop them just when they're doing the same? They're on the gadget the same way too.
I don't get it. My little boy know he cannot practice that. When he's eating, he's eating.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way he could have this gadget in front of him and no.
And this is bad for digestion. When you're not concentrating on your food and you're playing with this thing, you don't get the benefit of what you're eating.
A lot of bad things could result from it.
Yes.
Sometimes it's hot tea, you're not concentrating, you could spill it over the place. You could, I've seen a number of stupidness happening from this kind of thing. So I don't understand why some parents are allowing these things to happen with their children.
I just said, if the parents are at the table using the gadget also, how is it you're going to tell your children to put it away when you are the example of it?
And that's true too.
Children live what they learn.
Exactly.
And if you're going to come home and you don't have time because you're always on the gadget, you get your food, it's prepared for you, it's on the table, you have to eat, and then your head is in that phone and you're going on. You cannot tell your children not to do it.
That is one of the reasons why that is causing the family to break down from each other, because gone are the days when you used to be looking to sit around the dining table and then you interact, you talk of all sort of things. That is, in a lot of instances, that are not happening anymore.
When people are working,
that's the bad thing.
It's hard for families to get together during the week because you work at different hours. But on Sundays, or when you cook that big meal and your family's at the table, no phones, no nothing.
Yeah.
Leave it, and if it rings, you wouldn't die. If it's an emergency, the police is going to call. You know the police when they call. You know the number. If it's an emergency. And once you're sitting inside here with me, there's no emergency. I am your emergency. Your father is your emergency. And if we are here and you're here, then what happens to the phone and it rings? You will return the call. Sometimes I'm home and I'm downstairs, the phone is upstairs, phone call come like crazy, but I'm doing my thing. When I go upstairs, I say, oh, this person, and I start returning calls but I don't want it to be an extension of my fingers that, I always have it and make me crazy. They says a person could look at their phone 150 times in a minute, because it is the extension of their fingers.
Yeah.
And sometimes it gives you anxiety attack because, you thought you heard a message. Your phone right in your hand, right there. And you think you hear your phone ringing somewhere else. That's because you're so engrossed in this damn thing.
I know of one person, and sometimes I just answer, I just have to shake my head. It's like
somebody asked a question here, Jesse. It says, how can a person solve loneliness without being comfortable within themselves first? That's a good question.
That's a very good question.
That's a very good question, because if you're not comfortable in your skin, then you cannot find the way out to solve if you're feeling lonely.
Because it will boil back down to a state of mind.
Yes. You're trapped.
Yeah.
So you have to be comfortable first. You have to know about yourself first. You have to love yourself first, self-love. Then you could get over the feeling of loneliness. And I say there's lonesomeness. And I do lonesome. I do it a lot.
And there is a big difference, and we want folks to understand there is a big difference between loneliness and being alone.
Yes. You could be alone. I could be alone and I'm not lonely.
Yeah, exactly.
I choose lonesomeness because I want to be by me. I want to be me. I want to be by myself. That is not loneliness. Loneliness is when you have no one. You're feeling the effects of it. Like he says, he calls you all that. It says it is not common for lonely people to feel low, separated, discriminated against, helpless, alone, abandoned, socially inadequate. Because loneliness can result in both dysfunction and distress, especially in elderly. It can even be diagnosed as a disease. We said that up front, loneliness can be a disease. Now, as I was saying, this month, December, January, the Christmas and the New Year's, is when you find the most loneliest people out on planet Earth.
Why do you say that?
Okay, I'll tell you why. You can be in a crowd, Jester, in a massive crowd and still be lonely?
Yes, based on how we are looking at loneliness, it can happen.
So, especially for the elderly, most people are going around now. As Annette said in her prayers this morning, you're hopping and you're going everywhere and you're thinking about what you're going to get and what you're going to do and what you're going to do this and you're going to paint the house and you're going to buy the ham and you could do this and you could do that. You put yourself in that mental stress about you got to do and you got to do and you got to and you got to. And you have the elderly people that is around you. No one is paying attention to them around this time.
Yeah.
If they have children around Christmas Day, I'm going to get mom and dad to come home and have dinner with me. If they're in a home, they'll take a bouquet of flowers and everything, or a box of chocolate to them. Nobody pays attention to them at this time, especially.
But Claire, that is just so correct. In fact,
well, I'm not lying. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, in recent times, or the modern day type of how we celebrate Christmas, it has become just so selfish, in my opinion.
Everybody's looking out for me.
Yes.
They're not thinking about anybody else. And what they do most again to the elderly, that's when they try to scam them the most. They're not looking after them because of their interest in them. They go to them and say, oh, Christmas is coming. You want this? You want that? Oh, I could get it for you. The person say, well, I've got this amount of money here. I want you. They go and they rob the people blind. They don't even come back with what they said, especially if the people are staying by themselves. This is when abuse is taking place more than anything else with the elderly. So I'm saying to those of us that has elderly people that live around us, cast an eye on them. Because don't think that people in our neighborhood or in the community does not know that they are living by themselves. Maybe during the other days of the year and the months, they're not paying much attention to them because they have nothing to go after them for. But when it comes to this season, they are vulnerable more than anybody else.
As I was saying on my show on Saturday, that be prepared to be more of a giver than a receiver around this time of the year.
Why only around this time of the year, may I ask?
Well, that's when, in the past, or the Christmas I know of long ago, to me the emphasis used to be of making other people more comfortable than probably even yourself. That's how I knew it used to be. Remember people while they're making the bread and the cake, they're studying that, that's one for Papa John down the road, Auntie Clarice. They used to be selecting the thing before, thinking about them. That's what I'm saying.
This is now, it is a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
When we used to celebrate Christmas when we were young, we didn't have anything about this madness of shopping and, what this person is going to give me and what that person is going to give you. And when they give you a gift, you go to the store and you check it to see what price how much they paid for it. And if they don't like it, they pitch it in a corner or they re-gift and all this thing. It has gone totally. If they were saying that they're doing it because of Christ, well, Christ has left the building.
And Claire, I'll tell you in all honesty,
it is no longer about Christ or a thing. It's about everybody. People are just become greedy and self-centered.
Yeah. Probably what I'm about to say, some people may not agree or they may not feel pleased, but I really come not to have that sort of appreciation of Christmas as I once used to have it because of how the times have come. And seriously, this Christmas year time, I just want this season to come very fast and get over it.
You're not the only one.
Serious.
A lot
I'm
of
telling
people.
you, honestly, that's my honest feeling.
Mm-hmm. So, as we're speaking about loneliness, this is a time where you get to know what loneliness is and how many different types of loneliness there. You might think that loneliness is just you're lonely, you're alone, and you have nobody to talk to. As it says, loneliness is when you're dependent on others from being alone. And I made that point earlier. Anytime you're a lonely person, you always want people around you. That is the way you feel better. That is the way you tell yourself that you are not lonely. But the minute that person step out of your zone and go back home, you go back into that loneliness and it's a depression. You become depressed. It says, at a high level, there are 3 main types of loneliness. And within these types, There are groups based on the triggers of circumstances leading up to the experience loneliness. Here's one: situational loneliness. There is second, developmental loneliness and internal loneliness. Let's take it one at a time. Situational loneliness. Key contributors include socio-economic and cultural elements that result in unpleasant experiences and in an ability to have needs met in current social settles or because of migration conflict. Situational. So we were born in Grenada. There is conflict, as we know, around the world. Now we have to flee from where we are to another country. That is situational loneliness, because you have been moved from your norm and go somewhere else where you know no one.
In some cases like that, they lose family contacts. I mean, that is very difficult
situational
to cope with
loneliness.
in a place.
And then, although you are in the midst of thousands of people, nothing is stopping that heart here from being lonely.
It's for real. For real.
We didn't know. When I was doing research, and I'm like, what? There are these types of loneliness? And it says there are hundreds of types of loneliness, but it's talking about these 3, and then there's another 7. So situational loneliness, when you move from one place to another, one situation to another, you may move from the good, or you thought what you had was bad, and you move to the worst. You are situated in a different realm from where you are used to.
In some instances, some people never
go back. Never. Yeah. This is what you call situational loneliness. Developmental loneliness, the desire for intimacy and the need for individualism allow for the knowledge and development of our real self. And in a healthy individual, these are met in a balanced fashion. Contributors to an unbalance can include poverty, separations, developmental issues, personal inadequacies, and any form of disability. This imbalance can lead to emptiness and a sense of loss of meaning of life.
So this one is, so we move away from the situational one, and this one
developmental. So that means you in a relationship, it includes poverty, like you in a whole different level now, that you lose what you have totally.
Yeah.
It says this imbalance can lead to emptiness and a sense of loss of meaning in life. So you're feeling empty.
But that developmental one could be as a result of certain experiences that may come along the way.
It could come from the situation one too, because one lead to the other.
Yeah.
Because you're in a situation where you have left your home, you cannot go back, so you develop those sorts of stuff. In here, imbalance, it says poverty, separation, individualism. Like you are an individual, but you lose yourself.
Yeah.
Here now, we phone walking, right?
Oh, yes.
Oh, I just checking.
And again, the number is 4420175, and that's for both the landline and WhatsApp.
Here's the other one: internal loneliness. For some individuals, being physically alone would never make them truly feel lonely. Instead, loneliness stems from the thoughts about being alone. Contributing factors include personality characteristics, low self-esteem, perceived status, low self-worth, guilt, and poor coping mechanism. I like that. This one. So it's not something that happened to us really. It's something that we think about. We tell ourselves that we are lonely. We have personality characteristics, low self-esteem, perceived status. So if you tell yourself that you're high and mighty, but you're not getting the attention that you need, that you want for your high and mightiness, that can make you lonely too, because you're on a status quo by yourself.
We have a call.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
I was listening to this topic that you have on loneliness, and I guess it is very difficult to prevent a lot of people from being lonely. Some people tend to have always existing in a state where they seem to be lonely. But sometimes, to what extent our own culture creates a level of loneliness in people. So, for instance, you grow up in a society and there are some people who are, I don't know if hyper is the correct word, but they have much more energy than other people. And you could recognize it with your own children. Some children have more energy. Now, in that case, one has to provide an opportunity for that child to use up the energy they have by getting involved in multidiscipline things. For instance, sports, swimming, music, really, and to a certain extent, to the religious effect on people. Some people grow up and they have their own religious beliefs, and when they are stressed or in problems, they could go back to the religion for comfort. Sometimes they could go and sit down and play the guitar, and they could write tunes, music, lonely music, solitary music, and sometimes they're able to commercialize it. But when an individual is depressed or stressful or reaching a situation where the environment is not so sociable, and the individual do not have any talents, they do not have much talents that they are comfortable with, they don't have the necessary skills, then that could contribute more to the loneliness. So I believe in a large extent we go after the younger ones. Some old ones, you can only pray for them and hope God take them out, some kind of thing. It's too old
Excuse me.
But the younger ones among us, we have to provide them with skills, talents, a kind of culture and a discipline. So, for instance, you might have a woman in a house, and just by planting flowers around her home, that could be a sense of therapy. That in stressful moments, she could turn back to it. Just by listening to her son or her children or a neighbor playing the musical instrument could provide comfort for her. Some Christians may turn back to the saints, Padre Pion, Saint Catherine, and go back to what they learn about the saints and be comforted. So I think a lot of emphasis, if we want real significant change, emphasis must be placed on the younger one. We sometimes I believe we're trying to address change in adults. We could salvage, but to have real meaningful change, we have to put a lot of emphasis on our young ones, in our home, in our schools, to make them multidisciplined, multi-talented, and to let them have an appreciation for nature, flowers, animals, pets, music, swimming, and love.
Thank you. All right.
Claire, what this caller is saying is just so true. It is important that from an early age, when you as a parent have a child or your children, that you get them involved into extracurricular activities. So, for example, as he said, playing the guitar, playing the piano, learning to swim. So later on, then you may meet in certain state of depression or some form of loneliness. These are the things you can go back to, and then it will be a sort of therapy to combat the form of loneliness. So powerful, very powerful point.
We have a call. Good morning.
Good morning to both of you this morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Good morning.
I'm very well, enjoying listening to your program as usual.
Thank you.
And just listening today, and I thought, well, I must call and give a contribution in terms of the topic that you're talking about, loneliness. Well, I think it's one of the topics. And it's fascinating. The last caller talked about getting young people involved in meaningful activities. It's a conversation I was having recently that probably this gives me an opportunity to highlight it, is the fact that we've become so isolated in our own gadgets that we forget the most important thing in the human space and life is about being able to connect with other humans. Not TikTok, because that barrier is that little gadget in our hands. Not, we don't get to experience nature because we're not out in the yard, we're not out in the garden, we're not out on the beach as human beings involving ourselves with what is important. And the conversation I was having recently was about across Grenada is dotted community centers, which is where the community is supposed to engage. Yeah, I can promise you that every single community center in Grenada right now is locked. And there's probably nothing going on in it unless somebody's getting married, having a repast, or some kind of political gathering is being done in there. And another point that I wanted to add is that loneliness affects every single human being at some point in their life. One of the biggest things that I sort of looked at recently for myself as a senior is that we start off with having children, the children grow up and they go, and then the spouses are left with a divorce, whether one passes and leaves another one empty, or what we call the emptiness syndrome. What do I do now? I don't have to cook for a husband, and I'm using it for my example. I don't have to cook and clean for children, it's just me. All my friends, every day I wake up, one of them is either sick or they've died. And that heavy set loneliness set in. And I belong to a demographic group that left Grenada as a teenager, went away, built a life, come back. And most of us, we come back and we want to do things and we build homes that further isolate us because we are behind walls and fences. And that loneliness is something that develops into all manner of mental health problems. Even within our churches, most people go to church on a Sunday and they can't wait for church to finish so that they can run back home to their loneliness. Nobody stays behind to have a chat. How's your week gone? Wishing you good wishes for the next week. It's very often I go to church and by the time I look around for the congregation to even greet them, they're all gone. I'm like, so I go back home as a single person, and as the gentleman said earlier on, I put my music on and I entertain myself because I try to avoid loneliness. That's but true. How many of us have that skill to do that? Yes. We really need to engage with each other. As a people, I am gladdened when I see my neighbors and they say, "Oh, we thought you had gone." And I said, "No, I was in the back doing something," because it means they don't see my door open, so they think I've gone. And unless they see me again, then we engage. Most people won't come and knock my door to say, "Well, how are you doing, Mrs. Smith?" Because we've lost that. If I don't see a neighbor, I will be looking out. How are you doing? Especially if I know they live alone. They might tell me off for being nosy, but at least I won't hear 6 months later, "Oh, we found somebody that wasn't very well and they've gone." I just think we've become an isolated community because we've become very technologically. We don't talk to people. We message them. We FaceTime them. And sometimes we're just down the road from them.
Down the road? They're standing right next to you.
Exactly. And this is the thing that I find fascinating. And I think the advances in technology, very good for many things. But I think this isolation of with that lack of communication between people, the spoken word from one person to another, the eye contact has gone. Even I have found it difficult. So a lot of young people in Grenada, they don't know how to hug someone without it being their day. Just a hug greeting. How are you doing, my brother? How are you doing, my sister? We don't do that anymore. So we lost the human touch. There's no longer the human touch. Even within care homes, I'm saying it because of experience, caregivers will bathe someone, and that's it. to give them a hug. For some caregivers, we ain't doing that because we ain't paid to do that. And yet that's what that senior person needs, just a hold of a hand and a friendly voice, a smile, would actually make such a difference to avoid people being lonely. And I tell people, an individual can be lonely in a crowd.
I just mentioned that, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But there is no connection to that crowd, especially with people with dementia.
Yeah.
They have no idea who are these people around them because the mind is that they're not holding these people. But if you sit and hold a hand, it's that touch.
You'll make that
because
connection.
That touch
Yes.
doesn't need a name.
Yes.
It doesn't need a knowledge. All it knows is there's a warmth, human to human contact.
Thank you so very much for bringing that point across because it is important that we practice these things. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Claire, it is important to note here that the tips given by the professionals along that line with regards loneliness, it all has to do where people are involved. So, for example, the tips on dealing with loneliness: one, keep in touch with people. So, people join a group. Who's in the group? People.
More people? Yeah.
Do things you enjoy. People. Right? Share your feelings. So, if you have to share your feelings, of course, it will involve an individual, somebody, and connect with others. They are telling you to connect with others. So, he didn't say to combat your loneliness, leave and go and sit down on the river stone.
If you want to do that, you could do that too. You could, no. If you want to go and sit down on the river stone, because listen, at one with nature, nothing beats that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just go and sit on the river stone and you look at the ocean. You look at the birds flying. It's a feeling of tranquility.
Yeah.
You can feel good about yourself because
but you will do that apart from not being in a lonely state, in a state of loneliness. So
then
you do that.
State is not going to make you lonely because you're already doing that.
Exactly.
You know? And something Ms. Gloria Smith Philip just said, that you could be in a crowd and be lonely. Yeah. As well as people have
we did make that point earlier.
People have families at home. They've got their mom, their dad, they have children, they have brothers and sisters. But yet, there are people in that family that are lonely. Because guess what? No one is paying them the attention that is needed. It is 4 minutes to 9. I think I can get through this one before. It says, behind those three is psychology. Okay, I can't say the word. Psychology Today article references even 7 types of loneliness and uses terminology to help individuals more easily recognize if they could be experiencing loneliness. That list includes new situation loneliness, and different loneliness, no sweetheart loneliness, no animal loneliness, no time for me loneliness, untrustworthy friends loneliness, quiet presence loneliness. It is said that the roots of loneliness is either a chronic long-term experience or it's a transient and temporary. Beyond the 3 main categories are over 100 types of loneliness. So loneliness has no shortages. None.
Oh my gosh.
The ones that I like here is new situation loneliness. Like we talk about situational loneliness, that you take me out in a place, I have to move from that place to that place, and I'm in a situation where I don't know anybody or anything like that. I am in that. I am different loneliness, that I am different in the sense I don't know you, you are not my friend, I don't want to be around you, I am a different individual. That's part of being lonely too. No sweetheart loneliness, that you don't have anybody in your life. Nobody to talk to you, nobody to love you, nobody, that's another loneliness. No animal. And we know that animals can really help you not to be lonely. It's 9 o'clock, the news is on. I am going to come back to this one, we'll dissect it.
Triple N. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour.
This is the latest news update as produced by the Northern News Network. The details when I return.
In an industry where customers expect quality, M&N Hardware Limited is a leader in locally manufactured aluminum windows, doors, roofing, and guttering. Our manufacturing division is efficient, flexible, and will always go the extra mile to surpass customer expectations. If you need security, sash, casement, or projected windows, we're able to do it. Our security and heavy-duty doors are state-of-the-art and can be customized specifically for you. Using innovative coating technologies and protective film, our roofing and guttering is weather-resistant, providing outstanding color retention for many years. Available in 24 and 26 gauge and a variety of color options. We are the leading company, a family that is proving to customers they can have their dream products. M&N Hardware Limited. Foundation to roof, let's build together.
Welcome back. Locally, the new National Party is raising concerns, some serious ones, and criticisms regarding the recent controversy surrounding the signing of the Samoa Agreement by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Prime Minister. In the region, in Trinidad and Tobago, Finance Minister Combe Inbert says government is pressing on with its cashless programs, noting that cashless transactions are the way of the future. Sunil Lala reports.
Noting that many countries are pushing forward with cashless transactions, Finance Minister Combe Inbert says TNT must not be left behind.
There are many countries in the world where cashless transactions are almost at 100%. And Asia is catching up very, very fast with the Nordic countries.
Speaking at the launch of a workshop for a national financial inclusion strategy at the TNT International Financial Center, he said millions worldwide still rely heavily on cash, and it's the same locally.
Cash is used for 63% of transactions in Trinidad and Tobago. Debit cards account for only 12%. Credit cards, minuscule 3%. Online or mobile banking, 2%.
He said even 86% of small and micro businesses do not use digital instruments within their operations, and he is confident the National Financial Inclusion Strategy will transition the economy to a cashless one, particularly for those who have reservations about it. Meanwhile, Chairman of the TTIFC, Richard Young, said the strategy will address major challenges such as financial literacy and trust in cashless transactions.
Our roadmap will tackle these obstacles head-on, promoting initiatives that enhance financial literacy and consumer protection, with the central bank being the lead on that, reinforcing trust in the financial system and eradicating the deep-rooted prejudices that have perpetuated inequality. Constant dialogue with the public is ever so crucial.
Thank you, Sunil. Around the globe, torrential downpours at the weekend washed away vehicles and brought down buildings in the hillside town, 300 kilometers north of capital Dodoma.
The coffins of the dead being carried through the muddy streets of Katesh, northern Tanzania. The people of this town and its environs are in mourning. The death toll from landslides and flooding triggered by heavy rainfall here climbed to 68 on Monday. It comes from torrential downpours at the weekend that washed away vehicles and brought down buildings in the hillside town of Katesh, 300 kilometers north of the capital, Dodoma. Key roads, power lines and communication networks were disrupted. At least 100 houses were swallowed by the mud and a village with 28 families flattened, according to Regional Commissioner Queen Sendiga. The disaster prompted President Samia Suluhu Hassan to cut short her visits to Dubai for the COP28 climate talks. Tanzania and its East African neighbors are battling flash floods caused by torrential rains linked to the El Nino weather pattern.
And in sport, manager Mikel Arteta wants England international goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale to stay at Arsenal despite losing his starting berth to David Raya. This ends the latest news update as produced by Triple N. I am your presenter Maxine Entwine, thanking you for joining us.
Triple N. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour.
Celebrate Christmas and New Year with the NLA's exciting You Must Win promotion. Spend $15 or more in a single ticket purchase on Daily Pick 3, Daily Cash 4, or Playway, and just like that, you have chances to win prizes valued at over $100,000. Winning is easy. Simply check your tickets for the words "You won," free cash, free phones, free tablets, or free Instacash tickets. But wait, that's not all. You can also win free raffle entries for chances to win not one but 2 cars in NLA's You Must Win promotion. Promotion runs December 1st, 2023 to January 31st, 2024. Terms and conditions apply. You must be 18 and over to participate. The NLA, making your Christmas and New Year dreams come true.
Have you had Boston on your travel bucket list? Well, we've got some exciting news for you. JetBlue is thrilled to announce its new non-stop flight every Saturday from Grenada's Maurice Bishop International Airport to the vibrant city of Boston. Now you can embark on your Boston adventure without any layovers. JetBlue is making it easier than ever to explore this incredible destination. Whether you're visiting family or friends, exploring for the first time, or simply experiencing Boston life, JetBlue has you covered with a convenient non-stop flight, complete with comfortable seating, complimentary snacks, and an array of entertainment options. You'll arrive in Boston feeling relaxed and ready to explore. So now's the time. Visit JetBlue.com to book your flight and bring Boston closer to Grenada. Let your adventure begin.
Tis the season for new internet, a laptop, and some extra cash. This Christmas is on us. Sign up in-store or online today at discoverflow.co. Terms and conditions apply. Valid while stocks last.
The Christmas breeze is blowing at Dominic's Shopping Centers in Fun City, Guave. Santa has brought everything you need this Christmas, including greeting cards, floor coverings, mats and rugs, mattresses, bed sheets, pillows and cases, a variety of household items, pots and pans, glass sets, mixers, blenders, toys, flowers, electronics including radios, Bluetooth battery speakers with lights and hi-fi, 4 and 6 burner stoves and refrigerators, washing machines, and much more. We have clothing and accessories for the whole family. Extra opening hours for the Christmas season. Call or visit us today on 444-8804 Lance or 444-9221 Down Street. Best wishes for the Christmas and a prosperous 2024. Dominic Shopping Center, the best in the West. It keeps getting better. Stores will be opened on December 24th, 2023.
It's a hungry world out there, with everybody scrambling to get a share. Wolves in sheep clothing, birds of prey waiting to swoop down on you, and there's no telling what they'll do. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. Where you go when you're walking, what you say when you're talking, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful, careful.
The Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, the credit union of Grenville, takes you where you want to be. Feel secure with the Credit Union of Grenville, taking care of all your financial needs, including savings, loans, mortgages, and sound financial advice. Serving you with branches on Jubilee Street in Grenville, Lucas Street in St. George's, and new, spacious, convenient, and modern facilities on Seton Brown Street in Grenville and Grand Anse. Call us on 442-8602 or visit one of our offices. With Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, the Credit Union of Grenville, your financial security is guaranteed.
In an industry where customers expect quality, M&N Hardware Limited is a leader in locally manufactured aluminum windows, doors, roofing, and guttering. Our manufacturing division is efficient, flexible, and will always go the extra mile to surpass customer expectations. If you need security, sash, casement, or projected windows, we're able to do it. Our security and heavy-duty doors are state-of-the-art and can be customized specifically for you. Using innovative coating technologies and protective film, our roofing and guttering is weather-resistant, providing outstanding color retention for many years. Available in 24 and 26 gauge and a variety of color options. We are the leading company, a family that is proving to customers they can have their dream products. M&N Hardware Limited. Foundation to roof, let's build together.
Tourism is me, tourism is you, tourism is everybody, and tourism connects us all.
Did you know that tourism generates revenue and foreign exchange earnings?
Did you know it stimulates infrastructural development and facilitates cultural exchange among people?
You must know tourism is linked to all industries,
from agriculture to construction.
So support the industry today and be welcoming to all our visitors.
Tourism is my business. Tourism is your business. Tourism is our business. Listen one and all. Tourism connects us all.
A message from the Ministry of Tourism
and the Grenada Tourism Authority.
The Samaritan School presents a fair and dance. 7th December, fair starts at 1 p.m. Bashment at 5 and costs only $5. Dance time 9 p.m. and the cost is 10. Music by DJ Mixmaster Brent and Just Gus. Performances by Tara the Governor and many more. Eats, drinks, games, face painting and bouncing castle are included. The venue, the Samaritan School. Absolutely no vending allowed. See you there.
And we are back. So just we were talking about the Psychology Today article that talks about new situation loneliness, different types of loneliness. And it talks about 7 of them. And we talk about new situation loneliness, different loneliness, no sweetheart loneliness, and then it comes to no animal loneliness. And
what is no sweetheart loneliness?
Well, you don't have a sweetheart in your life? It's simple as that. We need to explain that to you. What is that? Well, this is layman terms. You have no one in your life, no one to tell you they love you, no one to no sweethearts.
Oh God, no sweetheart loneliness.
Mm-hmm. This one I like no animal loneliness. Well, I don't know if you have a dog,
okay,
or you have a cat. Some people have a ferret. Some people have rats. Some people have pigs. They have different kinds of. Look what Robert have his pet, Polly, and he's telling him that nice good morning when he's leaving and this kind of thing. He laughs scandalous. That's all I know. No animal. I think that if you're a person that staying by yourself or you go through that phase of loneliness, get a pet. Could be a fish, whatever it is, get one. Because I know, speaking from experience, that these things bring joy to your life. My daughter, when she was younger and son, they want a pet. They wanted this. And I'm like, well, what pet you want? Oh, can we have a dog? I said, no dog living inside here with me. Simple as that. Dog fall all over the place when you walk in and you have fought like they could build a whole dog from the clothes that I have on me. I said, no dog inside here with me. We compromised. You want a rabbit? I said, nah. Want a ferret? Not that either. So we agreed on fish. But yeah, they were excited to get the fish, but I'm the one that was looking after the fish. But let me tell you, at nights, when you sit there and you look at the fish tank and the light from the fish tank, you have all the lights off in your and the fish tank. It is the most peaceful thing. When you watch the fish swim from one end, it putters here, it putters there, it swims from it brings a lot of peace to how I was feeling.
And
like
it drives your imagination as well,
yes,
right?
after you come from work for the day, you spend your 8 hours at work, you take your bus ride to come home, you bathe, you eat, and you sit there just to veg and look at that. I thought it was the most amazing thing to look at the fish swim, and then you put the food and they eat it, and then sometimes they have children inside there. It was a joy for me to look after. I didn't mind looking after the fish because I know what it did for me. Now I have a dog, and you know Ruben, and I think sometimes the dog grins when he sees me coming home, because he is so happy with his little tail just going, like a hummingbird, just. And I'm like, hey boy, how you doing? And he looks up at me and he actually smiled for me. And let me tell you, he knows my footsteps. He knows the sound of my walk.
Oh, yes.
So when I get off of the bus and I'm coming to the shortcut, once I hit the pavement,
he knows.
He's up and his tail is wagging. And so, how can you feel lonely when you have that individual, that thing that can't speak to you, but he actually speaks to you? Looking at you that way and feeling happy that you're home, and you're feeling happy that he's happy and you feed it and everything. No animal loneliness. People, get an animal. Get something to quell the loneliness that you're going through. Then it has no time for me loneliness. I think that one is self-explanatory. Nobody has time for me. You don't have time for me. I don't even have time for me. No one has time for each other. So you're suffering from no time for me loneliness. And it's something that happens a lot, and that's something that a lot of people complain about.
Yeah, no time for me loneliness.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is some interesting figures that they come up with. No time for me loneliness. Then you have untrustworthy friends loneliness. That one should be a big one. Because if you have friends and you trust them, then you shouldn't be lonely, because these are the people that you can tell anything and feel safe in your domain and all that. But when they break your trust, then you kind of cut them out like bobbits. You just cut them all out. And then, excuse me, and then you become lonely. That's untrustworthy friends loneliness. So you cannot trust your friends anymore. So that way, you become a very lonely person. You have to start finding or making new friends, which is hard to do. Because when you have friends that you trust, it doesn't just come boom like that. You build that relationship through the years. You talk to each other, you travel together, you do things together. So you kind of build that trust. And once that trust is broken, then they're no longer in your life. Well, mine, I would say they're no longer in mine, because I am not afraid to just give them the bobby, just cut in like no tomorrow. Because if I cannot trust you, then it doesn't make sense that you're being around me. I've got a call. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Claire.
How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing?
I am great now that you call.
Oh, wow. Just good morning. How are you?
Good morning to you, sir. I'm doing just fine.
Great. Glad to hear that.
I hope you are doing the same.
Yes, I am. And
all right.
I'm enjoying your topic this morning.
Thank you.
Enjoying with it's a happy thing, but enjoying that we get an opportunity to speak about it. And I heard my good friend call in and speak about the elderly and the loneliness that they experience during this time of the year, especially this time of the year, but in general.
Mm-hmm.
And the isolation and all that goes along with it. He's well adapted to speak to that. So I'm not going to try to add anything to that. But I would speak to Claire mentioned situational loneliness. I experienced that so profoundly because I remember when I left Grenada, I immigrated. Uh, I was like 14 years old and I went to a different country and I finished high school there. And then I left the small town that I, went to high school and stuff with, about 100,000 people, similar to a population of Grenada. And as a black person in that community, you were like the fly in the milk.
Mhm.
Yeah?
Mhm.
So everywhere you go, you're noticed. Yeah?
Mhm.
And I remember moving to a larger city where millions of people live. And I'm standing in the equivalent of what I would say Times Square. Hustle and bustle. People are just moving left, to right, and center. And it happened to be around this time of the year. And I was just learning the city, and I literally got lost. So I'm standing there and I'm trying to figure out where to go. And just there, could you imagine you as a young man standing in the middle there? I mean, you've seen all these faces just coming at you and going, coming at you and going, and you know nobody.
Yeah.
Wow. Then it hit me.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord, what am I doing here? Who am I here with? I do. You see a familiar face, and that person just passed you as if you're not even there. Yeah, zoom, and they're gone. And that's when it bathed me like, oh my God, I'm really alone here, and I have to figure this out. What am I going to do? How am I going to get back to where I'm supposed to be, and everything else? That memory never left me, still with me. I can speak to it. I can put myself there vividly there and just see the people just moving past me. And I felt like I was the only person on this planet and there's no one else there but me. And, I look back on that sometimes and I can think about that and I can say, I can empathize with people who can be in a crowd and actually feel that they're absolutely lonely. They're the only person there.
Mhm.
And there's millions of people around them moving and doing whatever they're doing. Yeah. Just so you spoke about Christmas long ago and how it used to be and how it's so different now and you feel like sometimes you just want it to come and go
Yeah, exactly.
as quickly as it possibly
Yes,
can.
and my
Blink your eyes
perception
and it's
about
gone and you're happy and you're good with it. Yeah?
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember all now so may she rest in peace, my great-great-grandmother that I grew up with. Yes, I did say that great twice. That I grew up with. That's who she was, my great-great-grandmother. I grew up with her. And I happened to also saw my great-great-great-grandmother.
Wow.
Yeah? So there's some longevity in my genes, and I saw these people and interact with them. And I remember my grandmother, at that time I was just 10, 11 years old, and I loved to paint, and she would buy paint. And today, I don't even want to see a paint can, much as a paintbrush. But as a kid, just to make sure my grandmother is happy and she buy the paint, the oil paint, and I'm there and I'm dabbing everything in sight with the paintbrush. Yeah? And then we had the mahogany floor.
Oh, yes.
And the red polish.
Mm-hmm.
I can close my eye now and see that and smell that polish.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that was Christmas. And you have the big woolen snocks and you're sliding across the floor, polishing the floor and all of that stuff. I remember that vividly. To me, that is Christmas. And the other part of it that made Christmas for me, my grandmother had these baskets. And she would prepare these baskets Christmas Eve. And she said, take this to Miss Nora. Take this for Miss Enid. Take this for Miss Miller. Mm-hmm. And you as a kid, you glad to leave and run all over the place because you want to see what the other people's houses look like with all the decoration and everything. Remember the time when people used to string up all the Christmas cards that they get from
new ones
from the foreign places, and there's a competition who gets the most and who has the most strings.
You know, my skin just raised as you said that, you know. Your skin just raised in you saying that, you know. Yeah.
Very good, fond memories. But, you know, you go with this heavy basket, and you can't wait to offload the basket when you get to Miss Enid's house. But guess what? Miss Enid load up that basket for you to go back home with.
Yes.
So you have in your head, you'll take the little 10 minutes and 5 minutes and 15, half an hour to play with your friends, but you can't because the basket is full of stuff you need to get back home with. Yeah? This is what I remember Christmas to be.
Those were
Yeah?
the days, man.
Right. So nowadays, when everybody's so caught up in this social media thing, and I really dislike that word social. There's nothing social about
Nothing.
it. Not a bloody thing social about it at all.
Nothing.
Nothing.
You're more in isolation than anything else.
Thank you very much. We all are cocoon in a little empire that we've built for ourselves, and this device is a window out. Yeah?
But listen to me, my friend. And to me, that wasn't so long ago.
Thank you.
That has been destroyed, you know. To me, it's not that long ago, Claire.
No, it's not. It just tell you the speed of how selfish we have become.
Exactly. And it's today now, families don't even get together. Everybody's in a little cocoon still.
Yeah.
Still in their little cocoons. And I tip my hat off to the families who still make the effort to get together.
Yeah.
Because trust me, it is an effort. Yeah?
Yes.
To get up, to boil the ham, prepare all the meals, it takes time. Yeah? So to me, I really and truly, that for me was Christmas. And the other part of Christmas for me was spending time when my children was younger. Yeah? Seeing their eyes
Light
pop
up.
open. And then they all excited by it. That used to give me joy. That part of it, I enjoy that totally. But coming back to the loneliness around Christmas time, it is very profound at this time. And I encourage in your fellow listeners to take a minute, take a time, and reach out to somebody in your neighborhood. Might be a young man who's living by himself. You know he's living down the road, he's in his house. Reach out. How you doing? Here, I brought you a Christmas bread, a piece of cake. How you doing? Everything okay with you? Have a glass of sorrow with me. Come in, have a glass of sorrow with me. And you talk about loneliness, and the loneliness leads to alcoholism and stuff. Why do you think all of them are so drunk come Christmas time? They don't even know what's going on. They don't even remember the day because they're trying to cover that up. Yeah,
They drink their life
the
into
isolation
oblivion.
and everything
Yeah.
else that comes along with it.
Mhm.
So it's a bit early to talk about it, but I think if we plant the seed now, it will have time to germinate and grow. By the time the day gets closer, people will think about it and say, hey, there's Mr. So-and-so, there's Miss So-and-so down the road there. Let me reach out, let me talk, let me see what's going on, and reach out, you know. Share a meal, pack a nice lunch and bring it over and say, here, I brought you a Christmas meal. You know, if they refuse, that's okay. You made the effort.
Yes.
You made the effort to do it. And you never know, they might, you know, return it in another day and say, yes, you brought me this, but you know what? That was, you know, a mist of me. Can we start over?
Yeah.
You never know what will happen. But loneliness is something, like you say, it can come on suddenly. It could take over time. I think the one that comes over time is the creeping one that creeps up on you. And by the time you realize you're so far down the rabbit hole,
You're
you
chronic.
have to crawl your way back out of it.
Yeah.
And it takes some time to reconnect with the individuals around you and you know, come back to some sense of normalcy, whatever that is for you. Yeah?
You know-
Normal for me may be totally different for you.
Yeah. You know, my friend, I remember watching that movie, Home Alone. I think everybody on planet Earth saw that movie,
Yes,
Home Alone.
Yeah.
And I always remember that one old man that was in his house by himself. He lost his daughter, and so on, he was there by himself. And Kevin, which is Macaulay Culkin, went over to him, and the, you know, the bad guys were coming, and he hit one of them with a shovel. And he and Kevin became very good friends. And he was lonely. But when he got Kevin as a friend, he was the nicest old man around the joint. He went to church with Kevin and all that because he was lonely. And sometimes we don't even have to bring a meal to somebody. Just go in and sit and talk to them. Even have a cup of tea with them makes a big difference in that person's life.
Yeah.
It's true. It is very true. A simple conversation. A matter of fact, just saying hello. How are you? How was your day? That's it. That's it. Acknowledge the person that they're there. I see you. You exist. I acknowledge you. That's it. That
Yeah.
is
Showing some form of concern. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I'm going to continue to listen. I'll give somebody else an opportunity to call in. Just a great seeing you and hearing you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your contribution.
As
always valuable.
Always.
You're welcome, my friend.
Yeah.
You guys have a great day.
And season's greetings to you.
Thank you. Greetings to you too, my brother.
Right.
Bye-bye. Yes, sir.
Just take off Chester a little bit. Just ease him up a little bit.
Easy now. You easy now. Don't let me have to be break friendship with you, because you want me to start fighting with you too.
She only feels...
We were never fight.
I know.
We were never fight.
She only feels she could handle me now. She can't.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Yes,
Chester. Whenever he calls and makes his contribution, you know, he's like my other coffee.
Yes.
Honestly, it's like my other coffee. Like I get a high when I speak to them or when they make their contribution because it is so on point, so valid.
My skin just raised when he made mention.
Your skin don't raise to go away, so you get goosebumps.
Goosebumps.
When the skin raise, where you raising to go?
Yeah, we never do.
Yes, goosebumps.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's so true what he says is that, people just forget about people. And every one of us is into this. We can't stop talking about this social media when there's nothing social about it. Because if you were to stand in front of me and send a message to me while I'm standing in front of you, how social can we be? You have to remove the word from social and just say some kind of media, not social media. Because we are in isolation media. That is what it is.
Yeah.
Here the last one, quiet presence, loneliness. Quiet presence. So you're in your zone. You're quiet. Your presence is in there. No one else. Or you could have somebody else in there and they're present there, but they're quiet. So that, again, is loneliness because, they're not saying squat to you. You're not saying anything to them. They're just there. And sometimes, people are there in your life, in your zone, and it is a quiet thing, but it is a monumental support that they give to you. This is not what you're talking about. You can be going through something, and I am supporting you, but I'm doing it silently. But you feel it, right? You feel me there. This one is like the presence is there, but it's not something that you feel good about. That's the quiet loneliness, quiet presence loneliness.
Claire, I know of one or two guys, like, they will go to a function with a lady, and here what will happen. For example, they may go to a party, and entering the dance hall, the lady will go stand, and the guy will go by the bar, and pleases himself as long
loneliness.
As long as he feels to, he will drink with his friends. It will.
Is that right though? Is that?
I know. I don't know. No. I something like that. I will never do that. I wouldn't. I don't do that.
It's like, okay. It's like you say you bring me somewhere, yeah. But at the same time, you just leave me on my own.
Yeah.
So you just let me come so that somebody could see you come with someone because that person is not present in your being there.
The thing about it, in behaving so, they think, okay, I am the man, I am the jefe in this thing, and you have to wait on me as I so pleases myself. These are the kind of things that come with it as far as how
so
the
is it
man
an ego
thinking.
thing? Is it ego?
I don't think that is something that is it? Can I place that on an ego? I just think it's just a selfish kind of attitude and try to prove
when you have an ego,
that
because you're selfish.
You're the man so that you can do. No, and something like that, I don't think it's.
You can't condone that.
Fine, you entered it and you find you want to go and refresh yourself with a drink. While being there, you meet two friends, and then you go back to probably check the lady and
well, in the first place, hold on. In the first place,
I don't get it.
In the first place, if you're going to take me somewhere and do that, leave me at home.
Well, I agree. I agree. I agree.
And I'll tell you what, if that happens to me, when you turn back, I won't be there. You just know my presence was standing there. I'm gone.
And
you
cannot blame a lady for it.
Gotta call. Yeah. Good morning.
Why the woman who go to any man in the back?
Mr. Pierre.
Serious?
Why the woman
Mr. Pierre,
go near to the man where he's drinking in the bar.
Let me ask you a question. Did the woman bring the man to the party or the man bring the woman to the party?
Well,
Mr.
if I
Pierre.
bring you in the party,
Oh, Mr. Pierre saying that?
Mr. Pierre saying that, yes.
I thought I didn't know who was saying that.
You have to laugh at your own self, you're right.
If I bring you in the bar, why are you going quite up in corner? Come where I am.
Well, hold on. In the first place, Jester never mentioned that he took her to the bar. They went inside the party together, and she's standing there.
Follow me where I go. Follow me.
I'm a dog. I'm not a dog.
Mr. Player can be serious.
You cannot. No. I am not a dog, so I'm not following you anywhere whatsoever. You're going to stay in that thing, and when you turn your back, I gone.
Mr. Player,
if you and I go to a party,
yes,
the first thing the man would tend to do is to go to the bar and get a drink.
For who?
He may get a drink for the woman and for himself. But if the woman is not drinking, he might get one for himself.
But is it only alcoholic? Let me ask you a question. Is it only alcoholic drinks that it's in the bar?
No, if she wants to drink water, she could drink water.
But
when the music playing and the woman is right there in turn around, sometimes he dance right there.
I don't understand what you mean. What do you mean he dance right there?
Well, the bar is part of the dance hall.
Mr. Pierre, good morning and goodbye.
Mr.
Honestly,
Player, I know you normally say certain things in your mouth, but
no.
You're on your own with that this morning, trust me.
Mr. Pierre have right to leave. Goodbye.
No, Mr. Pierre is on his own with that. Can be serious.
Well,
no.
I am flabbergasted, honestly. You can't.
You shouldn't.
He said, somebody just said that man was single.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's not. But you see, you can't tell me. Even look, just that this is loneliness in the public.
It must be.
You heard me say that people could be in a crowd and be lonely. You heard Gloria Smith Phillips said the same thing. You could be in a mass crowd and be lonely. Okay, you take me to a party. I don't know anybody there, right? You got invited. You know the people that invite you to the party. You bring me there. And you're going to leave me there by myself and go and talk to all your friends, and I'm standing there like a lonely piece of wood or something that
it's
you put
not
me
proper.
to stand in.
It's really not proper.
And I'm telling you, try that. And when you're going to see my shadow, you might smell the perfume that I wore when I come inside there. No, I'm gone. I'm not. No. I deserve better than that. I'm not going to take that. No.
I'm a man for myself, and that is something I'm not.
No, you can't. You're not supposed to do that. If you know you have plans on doing that, bringing me somewhere just to say you come with somebody, leave me at home. I'm okay. I love my home. I'm staying there. Don't come and bring me and tell me about follow you to the bar. I'm not a dog. Don't ask me to follow you anywhere. And the funny thing, they come. If they see you dancing with somebody in the bar, you know. But if somebody come and ask you to dance, well, all hell break loose now. They come in, they all of a sudden they care so much and they want to. No. Jump the lake, build the bridge and get over it and jump in the lake and swim because you aren't there. Goodbye. We have a call. Good morning.
Yeah, coffee in the morning.
Yes, sir.
Coffee in the morning.
I think it kicks, you know.
Yeah, to be a remote. Two stone.
That kicks me have me all up in arms running. Let me tell you.
You might get a 2 stone when you come.
Yeah, but I think we still have to be careful the kind of message we're sending out, even though it kicks, you know.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that if I am invited to a function and I got an invitation to go to a function, and the invitation also extended to my wife through me. Based on that function that I am invited to go, I will decline to go to the function, number one, with my wife, or I can be able to explain to my wife, hey, they invite me to a function, but it's very rare the people in that function knows you. And as a result of that, I don't think that if you want to go, you could. It's a choice. But while I am there interacting with my friends, there is nobody in there that you know, and that can create a little bit of bother for you. Because while I am interacting, you are there, you cannot interact with nobody because you do not know them. And if my wife says, all right, for you to go, that's not a problem. But not because my wife, I will drag her behind me and say, well, let's go. And when I'm at the table knocking a glass with my friend, my wife sitting on the corner by herself, that is an insult to my wife. I think
so too. I think
she
so
deserves
too.
better,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
If I go into the function, my wife have to be a deep part of the function to interact and to laugh. And I see this thing happen already, where men goes to a function and then they bring the wife behind them, or they bring the girlfriend behind them. And the wife or the girlfriend is like a little puppy inside there. And that is an insult to the wife, yeah? All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yes, I mean.
Well, look at Mr. Pierre just make me go,
that-
off, because you can't tell me that and say that it is okay, follow you to the bar. Well, what is this?
No. This is just ridiculous, really.
Let me tell you, sometimes you better stay lonely than have to go through that. Honestly, I'm staying lonely. That is my thing. I'm staying lonely because you can't tell me to follow you because you're going to the bar and drink. No one tell you cannot go get a drink in the bar. But if you bring somebody with you, at least pay some attention at some time. Don't just... Here are the comments there. That man must be single. The woman should leave him. I'm dancing with someone else. Somebody said, I would not be staying. Must show some kind of respect.
Yeah, that do upset women a lot.
Because it happens a lot.
Yeah, you don't do this sort of things. And then
It happens a lot. Some people bring you somewhere and it's like, stay. Like my dog Ruben, stay. And you stay there. They come and they might give you something. You go there, you eat it, you stand up, but you still stay. What, am I ornamental something? No. Mr. Pierre, no, we got to get... Girls, we're going to deal with Mr. Pierre when he comes in today. No. So here. What causes loneliness? There are many reasons why someone might feel lonely. Sometimes it's due to a life change or transition, such as starting a new job, moving to a new city, or experiencing a relationship breakup. Our caller before, Mr. Pierre say bad thing, spoke about in a situation where he traveled and all these people situation.
Yeah.
Other times it might be the result of social isolation, which can happen if you don't have close friends or family nearby. Again, it's also common for people with mental health conditions like anxiety or depression to feel loneliness more intensely. Many people experience loneliness as a result of lack of social interactions, as well as the absence of affection normally encountered in healthy interactions. In the same way children need certain things to be in a place to develop as healthy, functioning individuals, older humans have 8 specific relation needs tied to living a physical and emotional healthy life. And here they are. Security. To feel validated, affirmed, and significant within a relationship. To be accepted by a stable, dependable, and protective another person. Confirmation of personal experience. Self-definition. To have an impact on the other person. To have the other person initiate. To express love. When these needs are continually unmet for whatever reason, the resulting experience is loneliness. Around the world, while cultural differences can have an impact on those typically at risk, the common elements found in the group most at risk include the following: females, widowed, living alone, being older, health issues, low income, limited social resources. So all these can make somebody become lonely. And we know when he talks about lower income, people that do not make as much money, say you make more money than I do. And you know that because you see the work that I do. You don't pay me the time of day because I'm not in your bracket. That can leave me lonely. Because who am I gonna... Because the people that make the same money with me in that same lower income, they are struggling also to make it out there. Somebody just called, let me see. Good morning. My friend, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good morning, Claire. Good morning. Good. How are you?
I am good. How cold is it out there in Tio?
It's not too cold. Actually, they're predicting that we may have a mild winter with rain, so I'm hoping that is the case.
Oh, well, I'll come. I'll be home then. Yes, go ahead and tell me what you're telling me today.
So So I was just reading a letter that the Surgeon General in the U.S. wrote about loneliness because he said when he got the job, people began to tell him that they felt isolated, invisible, and insignificant.
Mm-hmm.
And then he realized that loneliness is a far more problem than he was thinking at first. And then he says that, they did a study and they found that the effects of loneliness is worse than it's caused by smoking up to 15 cigarettes a day. So that's how bad it can be. Now, what did he recommend? He said that each of us have to start now in our own lives by strengthening our connections and relationships. Our individual relationships are an untapped resource, a resource of healing hiding in plain sight. They can help us live healthier, more productive, and more fulfilled lives. Answer that phone call from a friend. Make time to share a meal. Listen without the distraction of your phone. Perform an act of service. Express yourselves. The keys to human connection are simple but extraordinarily powerful. So, as everybody mentioned before, the solution involves humans staying
Exactly.
connected, calling our friends, doing things. But one of the things I also want to mention that even with kids growing up, we have to instill in them that they have to learn to do things on their own sometimes because you may see kids, they don't have a friend to do something and they just sit in the corner. But they have to be creative and learn to do things on their own because there would be times when they would be called upon to do things on their own when they have no one around to do it. So I just wanted to share this interesting letter that he wrote, and everybody have a good day.
You too, honey. Take care of
Thank you
yourself.
so
We'll
much for
chat
that
soon.
contribution.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye. Oh, my girl, my girl. What am I going to do with
Oh
her?
my gosh. Well, that was just so powerful.
Yes,
man.
yes.
So timely as part of the whole conversation this morning.
Yes. So it says just while loneliness is often thought of as an emotional state, it can also have serious impact on our mental health. Studies have linked loneliness to an increased risk of developing conditions like depression, anxiety, and even dementia. Loneliness can also worsen existing mental health conditions. People who are lonely are more likely to self-medicate with alcohol or drugs, which can lead to addiction and other problems. Additionally, loneliness can lead to social isolation, which can in turn affect our cognitive health. One study found that social isolation was associated with a decline in cognitive function over time, being linked to an increased risk of Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia. So, we can see some people are just say, I'm lonely. But that is just the surface of what loneliness can really do to us. So, it is 12 minutes to the hour of 10. And we cannot finish talking about loneliness. We can't. Because there's so many of us in this world on planet Earth that are going through some form of loneliness. It said it's an epidemic. So it's not a small amount. It is a huge amount. And you heard what Lorna just wrote, the letter from the surgeon, whoever he is, that talks about the impact of what loneliness we can feel and stuff like that. It says here, loneliness is a feeling we all experience at one time or another. If you're struggling, there are strategies you can use to overcome this feeling and start enjoying life again. One of the best ways to combat loneliness is to connect with others. Humans, again. This can be done by joining social clubs or groups, attending community events, or reaching out to family and friends. Spending time with pets can also be helpful in alleviating loneliness. Another effective strategy for overcoming loneliness is to stay busy and active. Filling a schedule with activities you enjoy can help take your mind off your feelings of isolation and give you something to look forward to. Finally, it is important to be mindful of your thoughts and emotions. If you find yourself dwelling on negative thoughts, take a deep breath and focus on the positive. There are, let me see, is that the one? the positive things in your life. By using these strategies, you can overcome loneliness and start living a more fulfilling life. If you're experiencing signs of mental health decline due to your loneliness, please make an appointment to see a local mental health professional. It is always easier to treat it in its early stages. We can't say it enough. When you're lonely, you need to seek help. You have friends, and everything point back to the human touch, the human. None of this, as Gloria said, the Instagram, the TikTok, the who talk, the what talk, none of that. This is just something that our eye sees. You know, I know of a story that they had a baby that was born in the hospital premature, and there were babies around. All the other babies had their parents coming in and touching them and letting them hold their fingers, and so that baby mother died in giving birth to her. So she had no one to really come and lift her up or anything like that. But there was this nurse and a cleaning lady. The nurse used to be in the day, the cleaning lady used to be at night. Every night the cleaning lady comes. Before she does anything else, she dons herself with one of the aprons and she pick up that baby, swing her in her arms and sing to her. The doctor started noticing that the baby is making progress, and I was wondering why. Because no one saw her. They was wondering. So they set up cameras inside the NICU. And then they saw the woman every night holding the baby close to her, rocking it and swinging the baby and singing to the baby. And that is when they know that that baby craved the human touch. And they encourage her to don't stop, because she was healing at a faster rate than she's supposed to, because the human touch. You know, when babies are in their mother's womb, and so they feel warm and cuddly inside there. And hence the reason why when a baby is born, you see they wrap them really tight in that blanket. That is to keep them warm. And when they reach on the mother's stomach or so, and they get that skin to skin touch, nothing beats that gesture.
That connection.
And even as adults, we want the same connection, skin to skin. We want people to, that's why we hug people, that's why we touch people, because it is the connection. So here is how I'm going to close. There are a number of signs that indicate that loneliness has become overwhelming. If you find that loneliness is interfering with your ability to work or take care of yourself, if you are abusing alcohol or drugs in an attempt to numb your feelings, or if you're having thoughts of suicide, it is important to seek help immediately, not next week, not next month, not next year, immediately. There are many resources available to help you deal with loneliness, and there is no shame in asking for help. With the right support, you can learn to cope with it in a healthy way. If you are struggling with loneliness, know that you're not alone. There are people who care about you and want to help. You can start by reaching out to a family and friends, or you can join a support group. If you're feeling so isolated that you wonder about your purpose in life, you can also contact a helpline, like Sweetwater Foundation that we have in Grenada here. They are in term with Sandals and the Canadian group. Call 1-473-415-8000. That number again is 1-473-415-8000. Loneliness is a silent epidemic that takes a heavy toll on our mental health. However, there are strategies for success in overcoming loneliness. The power of social connection is one of the most important tools we have in doing so. If loneliness becomes overwhelming, it is important to seek help. With the right support, we can all find ways to feel connected again. And this just is where I'm going to end it today, about the loneliness that we go through. There are so many types of loneliness that we can't even go deep down. We are just scraping the surface. Scraping it. And when you talk about situational loneliness, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of us that go through that.
But
I remember when I traveled, and you don't know anyone, and it's winter and it's cold, you can feel really alone if you don't have anybody around you. And you go into to buy stuff, and you're looking around you, as my friend says, and no one. You feel alone, and you just want to take the next plane and come back. But you know why you went there, and you know you have to put on that metal and that steel to deal with it. Loneliness, people, is a silent epidemic. Don't get yourself caught up in it.
I think it's important that I read this.
Go right
Some
ahead.
people describe loneliness as the feeling we have when our need for social contact and relationship isn't met. But loneliness isn't the same as being alone. You may feel content without much contact with other people, but others may find this a lonely experience. Some people may only feel lonely at certain times.
As you said earlier, when at the onset of the program, you said loneliness can come in like snap of a finger.
Yeah.
Some others, it crawl into your life and it stays there for a long time. It becomes chronic. And as Mr. Nicholas said, when you look around the festive season and you see so many people that are alcohol, that drunk, it's not that they drink because they enjoy the drinking, They are trying to drown whatever it is that is in there, that loneliness. They're trying to drown it out so that they numb, they don't feel lonely again. But as soon as you get sober, you are back
Yes,
at it again.
Exactly.
So seek help.
That type
Seek
is not
help.
of no solution. Right?
No.
Solution.
And when you get hooked on these things, you're not only feeling lonely now, you become addictive. So you have two. You're lonely, and whatever you're using to curb your loneliness has taken an effect on your life, and not for the good thing. Lona Lolo Williams says, good morning to you. And, for the people that drink alcohol and so, they have something called Alcoholic Anonymous. If you feel that you are in that spot in your life, don't let it go further. You can speak to a friend if you have any. If you don't have friends, get professional help. Because when you become in that stage, it is like there is no turning back. And once you become an alcoholic, you're never cured of it. You're always a work in progress. Because Jester, if you're drinking alcohol and you stop, you go on hiatus, and I come to you and I said, Jester, have a drink. Come on, man, you're a long time you don't have a drink. Have a drink. You are putting me in danger of going back to where I don't want to be. It's not that I don't have, you have to have the willpower to stand up and say, no, I do not want to partake in it. But it says you're always a recovering alcoholic or a recovering drug addict, because you do not get cured 100%. You'll never get back to the person that you are. So before we take that bottle or we take a glass and we start pouring to have a drink just for leisure, it may turn into your life worth. Your health is on the line.
Yeah,
Think twice before you take that smoke or you take that drink, because your life could change forever.
And some people may believe it will help. It doesn't help, actually. It doesn't help.
No, you're just drunk in your sorrows in the
Yeah.
bottle. And the next, you hear when the country and western singers sing, like Kenny Rogers sing The Gambler. He sing, oh, you know that one? It takes a fine time to leave me loose in. He sing that song. It's about a lady, her husband leave her, she leaves the husband, and he drunk in himself in alcohol. Only for that night. The morning when he wake up, his wife's still not there. And he's still lonely.
Exactly.
So the bottle is not helping. It's
no
really
help.
and truly not helping. When you listen to the country and western songs, it's all about the story of the life. And if you pay attention, you may learn a thing or two. So all I'm asking, I am imploring you people, it is the season where you all enjoy yourselves, and so think twice before you start guzzling alcohol and think that it is okay. You can end up hooked on it forever, and it might be your life too. I always say there's one organ in your body that can heal itself. It is the liver. And if you keep putting blows on it, it too will stop healing itself one day, and you end up with psoriasis, and there's no cure for it. You're ending up 6 feet under. So think about it. It is 10 o'clock. I always say be kind to people, because kind people are the best kind of people. Thank you everyone for participating in the program today. We hope that all of us learn something new on what loneliness can do and how to combat it.
Triple N. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour.
This is the latest news update as produced by the Northern